Welcome to Spiritual as Fuck.
Spiritual as fuck.
Where spirituality meets the real world. I'm Liz Volpe, serial entrepreneur, passionate changemaker, and intuitive. I love inspiring people to dream big and create positive change in the world.
I'm Dianne Driscoll, a coach, facilitator, and speaker who uses channeled insights to activate transformation in leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers.
We share real and raw spiritual stories, give you a safe space to challenge what's normal, and have some serious fun along the way.
Come join us as we get spiritual as fuck.
Hi, everybody. Can you believe it is February, Dianne, 2026? This is our first episode back together, just me and you. I'm so excited.
Let's hope we continue that for the rest of the year.
I know. But you know what? Before we get started, I have to do a little shout out. And this is to you. Yes, you who's listening right now, because last year especially, it was just such a joy to see the movement growing, the number of people chatting via Instagram and joining the Spiritual Renegade community. And it's just fun. I mean, you guys know if you tune in that Dianne and I are a little crazy. We love to share our stories. We love to, hang around like-minded people. And it's just been so amazing to see how far we've got actually as a community. It's nice, isn't it?
Oh, so good. It is. That's it. Like for us, when we're just doing the one-way podcast, we don't get the engagement, but it's through the Instagram, it's through the reviews, it's through the Spiritual Renegades that we get to actually interact with people and realize that, yes, we're still not going crazy. There's plenty more of you out there.
Yes. So on that note, if you haven't clicked follow wherever you're listening today, definitely come along for the ride. If you're on a spiritual journey, I think that half the battle is being connected with people that are going through similar things. And so just join us, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But moving on, I'm really excited for today's episode. I'm firstly going to start by taking us all the way back. Now, about a year and a little while ago, we had our beautiful David the Medium on an episode. It was the very end of 2024, I believe. And as always, as Dianne and I do, we ask him the question, so what's 2025 going to bring us? And we're like sat on the edge of our chairs waiting for this exciting stuff to come out of David's mouth. And no joke, the energy shifted in the room that day when he reeled off this kind of like, honestly, doom and gloom. Do you remember, Dianne?
Oh God, all I remember was my heart sinking, thinking, oh shit, what are we in for here? And yet you look back now and you think, David knows what to do.
I remember kind of sat with my mouth open going like fingers crossed underneath the chair, like, come on, David, like,
stop,
you can at least make this a bit more positive. Yeah, don't tell me this shit. But anyway, David, yes, if you're listening, David, you are absolutely right. What a challenging year 2025 was for many of us in so many different years. And I have to tell you, at the end of 2025, I started doing loads of channeling based on the energy for now and for the rest of the year. And holy shit, have I been happy. I'm like feeling this clearer energy coming in. I don't know too much about Chinese astrology, but we are now in the year of the horse, which is this fast moving forward energy. And I feel so much relief to actually be here now. And I have now decided, you can join me in this one if you like, that every year I always kid myself that January is like the start of the year and I'm going to start taking off and getting things done. But that's actually not true anymore. So I am now declaring that February is the real start of the year. So right now, here we are, beginning of the year, and it feels like we're sat literally at the starting line. How are you feeling, Dianne? Or like what is about astrology? Tell me all about it.
Oh, I'm not going to go there yet. And no, I do not know all about astrology. I'm just a bit of a geek on it. But I do find that, we either go into January where we're a bit overwhelmed. It's like, oh God, don't ask me to think about what my vision is for the year or, what my intentions are for the year. Or we go bloody gung ho in there and it's like, yes, I'm off to the gym and I've got all my spiritual practices and, I'm going to just develop all these good habits. And then we start to lose momentum towards the end of January. We
Yes.
start giving ourselves a hard time. So it is, February is that reality check. I think February is where we just start to either we get fed up looking at ourselves and taking our excuses, or we shift into, you know what? It was an unachievable plan that I was putting in place. And now I need to temper that a little bit. It's funny though, because when you mention astrology, I kind of cheat and I have 2 New Years. So I
Look at
look at
you.
it that I start
Greedy ass,
in
Diane.
I spend half the year looking like as in reevaluating. So November, I start this process of what's my word for the year. I reevaluate how my previous year has been, and then I'm kind of setting myself up for January. But like you, I think February is when it really kicks off. But then what I do is I kind of recommit in April because that's the beginning of the astrological year. So
Yes.
it's almost like a really good thing, almost like, I mean, if you're in business or if you're working in corporate and you do quarterly reviews, it's almost like that. It's like, okay, well, I've set my strategy, I've set my goals, I've set my vision, and then come April, I'm kind of saying, well, okay, how well are you really doing? Or almost like you're settling into the energy of the year a little bit, and you are kind of sensing, okay, where do I need to tweak, where do I need to adjust, where do I need to kind of shift things? And that whole process, I think for me, even just coming out of, you mentioned both the astrology and the numerology, but numerology, the evaluation. So, if you're looking right now and thinking, holy shit, yes, 2025 was an awful year. Like, as in it was, a roller coaster, absolute crazy year. And that was a 9 year numerologically. So it's like the year that we were, ending of cycles, things finishing, karmic loops closing, but also then the year of the snake. So we're shedding everything. Like, so it did feel that really heavy, heavy, heavy energy that we were going through.
Oh, yes.
And now, I don't know about you, but it's almost like, even before January kicked off, it was like 2026 was bolting out of the gate. It's like, okay, the energy's picking up. I feel this almost like a little bit of a frantic energy that I need to be doing, doing, doing. And I will say, I'm giving myself a little bit of a hard time thinking, oh, you should be doing this, and you should be doing that. Even listen to how fast I'm talking right now. But it's that energy of the horse and the 1 year. So 1 year numerologically is that beginning of cycles. So it is, okay, we're in the next 9 year loop. We're off with a bolt with this galloping horse into 2026. And it's like, okay, are we going to steer it? Or are we going to actually let it run wild and free and go wherever it may take us? I know for me, I'd rather give it a little bit of guidance along the way rather than, running haplessly
Get the
towards
blinkers
whatever.
on, as the
Exactly.
horses have.
Be focused, be focused. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I love that. I just got some picture images because I feel like I'm moving faster. I'm dancing down the hall to get my shoes. I'm out the car. I've got more energy. I feel free. I'm feeling
Yes.
this sense of freedom that potentially wasn't there last year because I felt a little weighed down if I was to describe my last year. So yeah, I feel like a little bit more independent. I feel ready to gallop forward. And I do have to say though, with all of the channeling that I did do based on this year, the one disclaimer I think that this fast, beautiful energy comes with is the need for balance and rest, because that's the thing that will derail you in this year if you're not actually taking time out. And I keep hearing as I'm speaking, it's like weekends away are really important this year. Like,
Oh, that's
yeah,
terrible.
such a hard life. Book your weekend away right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like anything that you can do to basically give yourself time out, that self-love side thing. And I do think that some of us, if being in that, how you said it, kind of, you feel a little bit more frantic, it's a little bit faster, more buzzier energy. Sometimes it might feel hard to meditate being in that. So you need to find different ways of doing your grounding, getting your peace.
Yes, I completely got that too. It was like almost like the practices that we put in place for 2025 are the things that worked back then. are not necessarily going to serve us in 2026. But then also that sense of the very beginning of the year anyway, and I'm feeling this probably until kind of April timeframe, we're still coming out of the 2025 energy. So that almost like hermit mode, almost like the cocoon. And then all of a sudden it's like, bang, we're out of the gate.
Well, the
So
door's open.
feeling a little bit kind of discombobulated or a bit all over the place. So if we don't balance, if we don't kind of slow ourselves in or just kind of pull on the reins a little bit just to allow ourselves to, get a handle of this energy. Now, don't slow it down too much, but that definitely feels like it's so important for these early stages of the year.
Yeah,
And
get
what you said
clear.
about, yeah, what you said about the burnout, how that was coming through for me was, so 2025 being a yin year, so more soft, more feminine, more kind of inwardly focused. And now 2026 is a yang year. That's
Ah,
action, that's movement, there's a
okay.
lot more fiery energy with that. But at the end of the day, what the kind of warning that I was getting, and I don't want this to, I'm not slipping into David the Medium,
Dianne,
doom and
keep
gloom.
these negative thoughts to yourself.
But it is, if you're someone who was, say, edging towards burnout in 2025, or if you're someone who has found themselves operating in more masculine energy, particularly if you're feminine and you're operating in more masculine energy, just a little bit of a watch out that those balance things are really important for
Yes.
you, because otherwise you could, doing, going, like taking action and forgetting then to refuel yourself, forgetting to ground yourself, forgetting those kind of more yin balancing practices that you need to do. So it's not a doom and gloom type thing. It is exactly as you said, just balancing things out. And I think it's more important at the beginning of the year to do that, because we're stepping out of one energy into another. And it's almost like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. So it's like you see people running this race and you feel like, oh, well, I should be running too. And that
Yeah.
collective energy of everybody doing this. But if we harness, I felt very strongly that if we harness this energy and we're more intentional about what we're doing with it and in a balanced way, that will serve us, because then we're kind of leveraging the energy of the year as opposed to just wildly running frantic,
Mm.
towards, an unknown end.
And if you want something really practical, because a lot of us are going to get really caught up in this energy and, doors opening, opportunities, things progressing, moving fast, I would suggest if you're really organized, or maybe more so if you're not organized at all, actually go into your calendar when you get back to your office, when you're in front of your laptop again, and schedule in the weekends or the days off, and actually just put time into the calendar for the rest of the year as a reminder, so it pops up, or like, am I doing this? Because if you do, trust me on this, you'll actually be more successful and you'll get more things done anyway.
Slow down to speed up. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
It's funny you mentioned the word opportunity there, and anybody who follows me on social media, my business account, you'll know that my word for the year is opportunities. And I purposefully chose that okay, it's not just the opportunity for, okay, universe, throw it at me, whatever, more than I can even imagine, just surprise and delight me. But it's also the opportunity to rest, relax, to travel. Like it's the balance of that opportunity as well. So not just hit me on all fronts, because that's not something I want to do in a 1 year either. It's almost like that, sowing the seeds, planting energy, but at the same time, a good hefty dose of, natural fertilizer going in there as well. So just encouraging it along.
Oh, love it, love it, love it. On a totally different note, being the founder of the Intuition Academy, the one thing I am more excited about than anything else is that with this fast moving energy comes the opportunity to basically speed up your intuitive development. So I'm like literally seeing people open up quite fast. So
Yes.
it's such a good time if you're curious about intuition and you've delved a little bit in the past. This is such a good year to actually get really stuck in, whether it be joining a spiritual group. I mean, just join us on the Spiritual Renegades, our community online. We do loads of stuff via that. But doing exercises, getting to know yourself, journaling to figure out what your dominant sense is. Because if you imagine like the start of a snowball, it's small. And as it rolls down the hill, it gains momentum, it's got energy, it's going faster, it's getting bigger. That is the journey of intuition if you are ready to accept the challenge this year. So I, for one, find that pretty exciting.
It's so good because that goes with that kind of 1 year energy as well. It's the beginning, the planting the seed. So if you are nurturing that, if you're, building and growing that, and I don't know about anyone listening, but I am noticing more and more, the awakening, the amount of people, like I
Oh,
mean,
God, yeah.
like if I even think of some hard ass Irish males who, would have no who to the day they die say they are not intuitive. And all of a sudden they're saying things. You're like,
They're walking around with the
okay.
crystals, huh?
But it is. I'm noticing that more, and I'm not just singling out Irish males here, but in general, I'm noticing it more and more. I'm noticing it in family. I'm noticing it in friends. Um, Even today, being out for a lunch date with a couple of girlfriends, and ones that are normally fairly staunch or fairly scientific, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, being open. Even the fact that the conversation shifts to more spiritual matters, I'm like, it's just a lovely indicator of how things are opening up. And I feel that, if we are on that number one of a 9 year cycle, gosh, how fantastic is that? It's another way of just leveraging that energy to say, okay, how can I encourage these, whether it's intuitive gifts, whether it's your spiritual gifts, whatever it might be, your spiritual practices, how can I nurture those? And one of the visuals or images that I was getting channeling in the lead up to 2026 as well was around and this was around the burnout. So don't go to burnout, but it's like you need to fan the flames. So it's almost like, okay, well, if you do have that little intuitive flame or that little curiosity about anything spiritual, fan that flame a little bit for this year, and it will start to take on a life of its own. And it will probably grow at a rate that is faster than you expected or than you hoped for, because you're leveraging the energy of that kind of galloping horse, that kind of fast movement or that momentum of this year.
Mm. And something to watch out for if you are already nicely connected to your intuition are those really fast intuitive hits that are going to happen all the way through the year. And these fast hits always happen, but based on like the collective energy, sometimes it's good to slow them down and it's sometimes good to listen and act. And this year, when those really fast intuitive hits, the feeling, the random thought that drops in, whatever it might be, this is a good year to act on those fast hits. And the things I want to talk about, it could be like that job that comes left of field where you just offered something and you've got to tell them yes or no fast, just say yes, figure out how to do it later. Or you're in a new relationship and you're feeling really strongly, you're getting a very positive gut feeling, just go all in. If you get the nudge, go all in. Don't worry about the judgment, what everyone's going to say, because you've only been together 2 weeks and you want to move in. Like, who cares? I feel like there's going to be a lot of positivity from acting fast on the hits this year. So yeah, I know that's not normally something I'd probably say, but that's what I'm getting.
But I love that. I feel like I should be taking notes for this, because that is, I know that I'm usually someone, I'll get the hit, but then I overanalyze. But also as a manifesting generator, if anybody's into human design, it's like I'm supposed to, if I get the gut feel or the intuitive hit, I'm supposed to sleep on it and,
Yes.
wait. But that's hard for me because I would like to be able to. It's like if I get really, really excited about something, I want to jump on it straight away. So I'm already curious to, now that you've said that, to say, oh, I wonder how that's going to play out for me. Will things be different? Because I love to observe that, to say, oh, you're making decisions differently or you're jumping on that. And like at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? If you make a wrong decision, tomorrow you make another decision. 5 minutes later, you make another decision.
Exactly.
It's like if
And
it's not
the
working out.
intuition is clearer. You're going to find that all year, and it will only get clearer. So by the end of the year, you will trust it fully if you go on to kind of this journey with your intuition from February. So
Oh,
yeah,
you
have fun with
always
it.
talk, about journaling and, as in having an intuitive hits journal. Maybe this is the year that I need to finally actually start one because it is, if that kind of energy is going to speed up, we're going to have more clarity with our intuition. It's nice to have that evidence base to say, oh, on the 3rd of March, I had this intuitive hit and then it came through by April, whatever it might be, to be able to go back and look at it. So that, for me, when we spoke about the kind of shifting our spiritual practices and what served us in
Mm,
2025 may not be what goes into 2026. And I've been grappling with that a little bit, trying to figure out, well, what is that mix for me? But what I'm taking for you right now is, yeah, I probably need to start that journaling to just kind of keep track of what's happening. And I always find even the cognitive processing to balance with the intuitive hits is always or that stream of consciousness if you don't want it to be, that more cognitive side.
I like what you've just said there as well, because I feel like it's really important now to do a review of what you did last year in terms of spiritual practice and definitely
Mm,
change things up. What worked last year will not work this year. Um,
yeah,
Again, just one thing to mention, because movement's a bit of a theme for the year, that movement will be good for you in any way, shape, or form. That can be maybe the way that you meditate this year. It might be walking meditation rather than just sitting down. Dancing, any type of exercise. Again, being out in nature, doing the movement, more of an advantage for your vibration.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
all that type of stuff.
It is. It's funny you say that because for me, rebounder, like those mini trampolines and bouncing, like, I mean, and I
Oh,
find those
yeah.
really meditative.
I've
Like
never
I
done it,
find,
but
but I
I'm going to try.
because what was coming to me was that plus lymphatic drainage, like as
Oh.
in the movement of your blood. And this is going to
Mm.
sound ridiculous, but something that I've started to do as well. I used to do it on and off. It wasn't a practice, but I'm doing it more and more now. It's like lay on the floor with your legs up against the wall. So again, it's the opposite. If I go out for my morning walk, then all the blood is down in my legs. It's like in the lower extremities. But if you do it the other way, and again, that's another meditative moment then that I'm giving to myself, but it's based on movement. I'm like I can even feel my heartbeat in my ears as my, blood is moving around my system. So when I think of lymph and blood and your circulation system, like it's probably a good thing too that just helps you embody, because we talked before about, physical intuition. The more in tune you are with your body, the more then you're open to that physical sense of intuition as well.
Mm. It could be good, a little tip to have like one spiritual practice to use as your anchor for the year with this. So like how that's kind of just popped in for you. It could be something
Yeah.
really random that you just go, this practice is going to bring me to where I need to be. It's going to get me to that grounded spot. If you're moving too fast, it's just going to bring you into the present moment. So
Yeah.
everybody, when you get chance, just open up to see what drops in for you there and write it down, and just, even if you can add that one thing in and it's a common theme for the year to anchor you, that would be hopefully effective.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's such a good idea. And even for all of us to stop and question, okay, what are the things? Even look back on last year, say what worked, what didn't, and how can I shake it up? Like literally, what is something different that we can do? And us, we would love to see all of this on Instagram. So, come in with your comments, give us your craziest ideas and just let us know what is it that you're practicing for
Oh, hell
2026.
yes. And a reminder that with the fast moving energy, like this is the perfect time to let go of everything really, really fast that you've wanted to let go of for years. So remember that, like, if you want to heal, this is accelerated healing. If so being aware of anything that you can let go that is going to again help you get to the end of the year on a really big high. That could be letting go of, I don't know, people pleasing,
Yeah.
anything. I don't know what pops into
Yeah,
your mind, but
it can be habits, it can be people, it can be a job, it can be a
yeah.
relationship, it can be anything. But I think on that, when you again thinking of that, setting yourself up for a 9 year cycle, if you're not going to let it go in this year and let it go fast, then you're carrying that through. You're
Oh
almost
God,
planting the seeds
yes,
for that for the next 9 years. So
that's
definitely
scary,
anything
that
to,
one.
but how good is
Let go
that?
of everything.
Imagine what a shake-up that is. The difference between what would, you know me, I'm all about experiments. So if you experimented for the year thinking, okay, what if I followed fast my intuitive hits? Now, obviously, you still need to be discerning about them, but just say, okay, what if I act on them really fast? And what if something needs to be released and I do that really fast as well? Where
Yes.
would you be by the end of 2026?
I
What
know. It's so
foundations would you
good.
have set up for the next 9 years? Like that's a huge
It's
thing to
like
contemplate.
in the nine
Yeah.
year, you can heal by going to live at a Buddhist monastery for 8 months and meditating for 5 hours a day. Or just wait for the year of the horse and do it in a quick intention in 1 second. Which would you choose? Thank God for the year of the horse.
The quick and easy path for me anyway. I'd prefer that. Oh my god! Do you know what I'm all? You know what I just had this sorry ridiculous thought. But I'm thinking anybody who's having their spiritual awakening in the
Oh,
year of
Jesus.
the horse, holy shit!
Get in touch. We'll deliver
Absolutely,
you.
yes. We're here for you. If you need support, if you need whatever, because yeah, it's a crazy ride anyway. But I can just imagine
Oh,
how much more amplified it would be this year.
oh, definitely. What's the one habit that you feel like you need to let go of this year, Dianne?
I think it is, and this is where I was saying about this overlap between 2025 and 2026 energy. I find that I was in hermit mode, like a very um probably because I'd moved to Ireland, I was setting up family, setting up business, and kind of I don't want to call it survival mode, but I was in a cocoon, like literally in
Mm,
that kind of preparing for the next cycle. And I kind of got a little bit comfortable in that. So for me, stepping
yes.
out, letting go of hermit mode and actually stepping into, so like what you're saying about saying yes, like, and when I say yes, I mean yes to opportunities. This is, the words, oh yes, okay, something crosses my path. So unless it's a hell no, go and do it. Just say yes, get out, be social, see people, and one of the things that I would love to do more and more of is in-person events and like I've been
Yes. We're all
doing
ready
so
for
much
those, aren't we?
online. Yeah. And I do feel that that has been symptomatic of, I guess, the life changes that I have been going through. Plus, last year for me was a 5 year numerology. So this year I'm stepping into a 6 year. The energies are different. So it is okay. I need to start saying yes. I need to claim those opportunities. I need to stop being the hermit because I got really comfortable there. It's like literally, if you imagine me cocooned in my hoodie and Ugg boots and just kind of comfort, so much comfort. That is something, and it's going to be hard. Like it is hard.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are nodding their head as they're listening because I
I'm not on
think
my own.
I don't know if it's just an age thing for me, but yeah, absolutely. Liz the
Yeah.
Hermit 2025
Yeah.
in some
Yeah.
ways, anyway. I would love to read you my list of
Oh,
my do nots for 2026.
oh, oh, so this is not a resolution.
This is
This is
not
like,
things that you should copy or do. This is my list of do nots. All right, I'm going to just get my
okay.
piece of paper here
Yeah,
because
bring it on.
I found this funny because I know that some of you will resonate with this. Okay. Do not chase every exciting, shiny spiritual tool I see on Instagram or on the internet. Learn 7 million modalities in a year. Right.
Yes, yes.
Number two, do not over manifest. This is something I want to try because I'm quite often
Ooh,
working in manifesting things. And I've kind of worked out that if I'm manifesting a few things at the same time, I'm actually crossing the wires out to the universe. So I want to streamline that, feel clearer, and just manifest the things that truly connect with my heart. The next one is do not skip grounding. I'm hitting myself over the head as I say that because I'm
yeah,
terrible. Because my favorite thing to say is I don't have time. Oh my God. I just didn't have time to do that this morning. And I want to stop that. So that's going to be my anchor. And this is a really big one, very personal. I've just had terrible anxiety. Honestly, every year since my spiritual awakening, it opens up. And I sometimes find myself in really high anxious moments. I can confuse that in with intuition. And sometimes it can just even be the collective energy. Like it can make me feel anxious. And then I'm like, oh, okay, what's that about? Like, what's that feeling that I'm getting here? And I want to
yeah.
just really try and rid myself of going straight to anxiety. So, They're my do
Oh,
nots. Have you got any do nots that come to mind?
no, but I need to write a list now. I'm just thinking that's fantastic because we're always, I think, on a really fast year, it probably is good for us all to stop and think about the things we're not going to do because it's almost like that energy almost of a tornado. And I talk about this in my coaching practice. It's like when there's so much going on externally to us and it's so easy to get pulled from pillar to post, it's important for us to really focus on what we do want, what is it, the one thing you want to manifest, if that's the way, or what are the feelings that I want to, embody, what is it. So in order to clear, like if I take a leadership analogy, it's like strategy is what you're not doing. Most people think, oh, strategy is I'm doing this and this and this. It's actually no, it's strategy is what you're not doing. So for 2026, that's the exact same thing. It's like, okay, what are the things I need to let go of, the practices that, or the things that may have worked in a slower paced energy, but are not going to work now. So I am going to spend some time on that. I love that. What am I not
Yeah.
going to do?
It's almost like if you do it early on in the year, you put a full stop there, meaning that it's not going to cross
Yes.
your path at all. Like you've actually reflected and had awareness on, okay, this year I am not allowing these things to happen. Okay.
Yeah,
You've just
yeah,
set
yeah.
it as the
You
benchmark.
shall not pass. Sorry, channeling Gandalf. It's funny. I'm just going to say this because it came to me, and it's twice it's come up today. So the word anxiety. So anyone who knows me, I talk about it very openly, like a long time depression, anxiety, panic attacks, like so like medication, burnout, breakdown, all of those things. But an interesting conversation that I had today around anxiety was the use of the word anxiety. That once upon a time, you look back maybe 10,
Creative,
15, well, even 10, 15 years ago, it would have been, oh, I'm worried.
worried.
Oh, I'm
Absolutely.
disappointed. I'm afraid. We had a whole vocabulary, a suite of words.
Yes.
Today, we distill it all into the word anxiety. And even our children are coming out now and they're saying, oh, I've got anxiety, instead of saying, I'm a little bit anxious. So, one of the things I do with my daughter, because I realize how much I had owned anxiety, I have anxiety. Um, but it's changing your vocabulary around that to just say, oh, I'm feeling anxious, because that makes you think, oh, there's an end to it, or there's light at the end of
Mm.
the tunnel, or I'm going through a period of anxiety. So it's not that I own it, it's not that it owns me, but it's just interesting that it's come up today because the words, I think I'm becoming a lot more conscious of the words that I use, both the ones I speak and that I say internally to myself, because so many of those words we've kind of, it's, you see kids talk about bullying as well. Like bullying back in my day is different to how, like, kids just say everything is bullying, or everything is, OCD. We distill things into these words then that we used to have a broader vocabulary for. So for anyone who is experiencing anxiety, and there's no doubt about it, when you go through a spiritual awakening, and it's not a once and done, because towards the end of last year, I definitely had heightened anxiety when I was like, going from my Australian business to my Irish business, and all of the paperwork and all of the things that needs to be done, like changing banking systems, worried about tax returns, all of those not stupid things. But I was getting myself into a knot. And I kept telling myself that I had, oh, my anxiety's coming back. My anxiety's coming back. So just
That's going on
interesting that
my
you
do not list now, Diane.
yeah, okay,
There
okay.
we
But
go.
it's just the fact that it had come up already earlier today. It's been on my mind just about words, the power of words. Like there's so
Spell
much power in
casting.
words, absolutely. And we don't even, because actually, I'll say it here. You and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about the word release. Like when you
Yes.
say, "Oh, I'm going," and I used to always use the word cleanse and release, cleanse and release, cleanse and release. But then it was brought to my attention that the word release is to release. So it's almost like you're signing another lease to. So I know that that is something that I'm thinking, okay, more and more be conscious of the words that I use, or curious about them at the least.
Especially when you're doing intention setting and
Or
so it's got power
manifestation.
behind
Exactly. Yes.
it.
Yeah. Because you're pulling all of your energetics in on top of this. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, look at this. I think we're percolating ideas as we're doing
Oh,
this.
this is
Yes.
just the start of a year in my book anyway, because February is my new start of the year. So So I think we should do a competition. Do you?
Oh, yes,
I think you
absolutely.
should too, because I'm super interested. I've been having so many conversations about this galloping forward for the year and this horse energy. And my question is to everybody that is listening today is, what do you want to gallop towards in 2026? And I was thinking what we could do is encourage everyone to go onto our Instagram page, which is at spiritual.a.f, or contact us through Spotify, because you can talk to us via there. Or obviously, if you're in the Renegade community, that's going to be nice and easy. But come and share your answer with us. And over the next couple of weeks, Dianne and I are going to choose one lucky person to get 1 year's free access to our spiritual renegade community. And if you have no idea what that means that you get access to our online platform where we have loads of chit chat. You're with a like-minded community. We do exercises, monthly events. You have access to exclusive podcasts, all of our old workshops, and loads more. Have I missed anything, Dianne?
Oh, we do have some of our special guests appearing in there as well. So lots of readings and extra tips and tricks coming into the Renegades community.
Yeah, go and check it out. You can find more information on our website, obviously, on that. But it's just a really good place for this year, actually, being so fast moving, to be in the thick of it with supportive people. So even if you don't win, I would say go and check it out anyway. It's just a nice place to be. So
Absolutely.
yes.
I'm going to mention one of the things that just came to me as you're saying that. So one of the other things that we do in Renegades is we give our community members the opportunity that if they want to try something new, so say you're someone who's doing tarot cards and you'd like to be able to do a reading for a community, or you're someone who wants it may be a meditation, it may be you're building an intuition workshop, it can be whatever it is. But you have access to be able to put any of those new programs. It's almost like a safe test bed. Either if you're just starting out and you want to say, hey, I want to feel what this would feel like in the real world, or you're an established practitioner in something and you just want to trial something new. But we found that that's a fantastic way for our renegade community to do that. And you think in 2026, if we've got this fast-paced energy, if you're going to follow Liz's advice of, oh, I've had this intuitive hit, I'm going to do this program, that is a very safe space for you to be able then to roll that out, get some real-time feedback from a trusted community as well. So I do feel that that for us is going to ramp up this year as well.
Yeah, I just can imagine people suddenly posting on there, I quit my job. It was an intuitive hit. And we're like, go girl, you can do this. Get loads of support, positive.
Oh, definitely. And that is a huge theme because even towards the end of 2025, that was, I think it was the shedding preparation. So now the new stuff is coming in. That definitely was a huge theme in a lot of my clients. Yeah.
Oh, and honestly, and if you are just here for the ride on the podcast, keep tuning in. We have got some unbelievable guests lined up this year. It feels like every year just gets better and better, and there's just so much learning to do. So yeah, come along for the ride. Thank you for being here today. And yeah, we can't wait to hear your theme on what you want to gallop towards this year as well. So we'll see you over on Instagram. See you next time.
If you have enjoyed this episode or are a die-hard fan of the show, make sure to subscribe right now so you don't miss out on future episodes. And to share the love, you can give us an awesome 5-star review.
Help us create a world that is spiritual as fuck.